Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to look at the next 6 months of the Pokemon collecting and investing hobby, look at the time frame, what's coming up for sets, and try to discuss from a high level how to approach this from an investing and collecting standpoint. So sit tight, sit back and relax, and welcome to PokeMarketLab. All right, let's get started. We're going to talk about Prismatic Evolutions and kind of give you a high level view of where we're at right now from a timeline standpoint, what's coming up, what to expect, and kind of think about this from a very, very high level view. And that might inform us as to how we can approach the next 6 months in this bull market. And yes, that's the first thing we want to talk about. We are in a bull market. So it very much changes how it should change how we approach things, because how you're going to pre-order sets is going to matter. Do you pre-order everything? Are you okay getting stuck with a product that maybe, like Journey Together, does Journey Together stay at its current elevated price, or does it drop after release once people actually get the cards in their hands? So a lot to talk about. So let's talk about Prismatic first. Actually, let's step it back a bit. Let's talk about Surging Sparks. Surging Sparks is really still holding on extremely, extremely strong, sitting in a $250 booster box. Remember, when Surging Sparks was just about to come out, we were getting previews for Prismatic, and that's really when the market just went. That's the start of the market going completely bonkers. Prismatic comes out here, and there's a lot of negative connotation with Prismatic right now because of the booster box, because of the ETB price, because of the scalpers. We're seeing a lot of product that has hit retail shelves now trying to get arbitraged online and sold through here. So there's a lot of supply. Right now, ETBs are sitting right at $100 on TCG Player. And it's kind of hitting. That's kind of the psychological barrier here. If we start dropping below that, we may see more buyers come in. My point is, I'm not seeing as much sell volume as I would have thought. And same thing on the single side. We know there's a reprint coming for Prismatic. This is likely not going to be a low touch kid glove reprint from the Pokemon Company. It's likely to be fairly substantial. So I think what's happening with Prismatic, I think what's going to happen is it's probably going to have a second resurgence. I think a lot of people are going to wait. They're going to wait for that reprint to come. And that could it could be substantial enough that it really does truly drop the price, maybe to the $60, $70 level. I don't know if there's going to be enough product to do that, because again, I think once we get below 100, that just signals buy to a lot more people. If we do get it that low, that's when it can truly get into people's hands, and people can crack it, and people can enjoy it. And I've said this on a couple videos this week, that is truly important. That cannot be understated, how important that is from a long-term investing and collecting standpoint. This is collectibles. This stuff has to be desired, not because it's expensive, but because of what it is, because there's nostalgia associated with it, because there's an experience associated with it. You can't have those things when you have $100 to $150 ETB, not even a booster box, ETB on release. It's not getting into people's hands. It's just scalpers and investors trading this stuff back and forth, essentially. So this is kind of an existential issue for Prismatic. The problem is going to be, we have another set coming up here. We have Journey Together coming up in March. And so my guess is, when they announced reprints for Prismatic, there was no date on there. And my assumption would be, if that it was going to be only a few weeks to a month before we would get reprints for Prismatic, that they would have announced that with that reprint announcement. And that didn't happen. So I think my guess is there could be an issue where Journey Together drops in, I think at the end of March. I think it's March 28th that this drops. And we get a glut of Prismatic, which is good for Prismatic. That could mean, though, that the tension is being fought between Journey Together and Prismatic at that point. Prismatic's absolutely, I don't think this is an argument. Prismatic is absolutely the better product. It's the better set. It's just people aren't not opening the product because it's a bad set. It's just too expensive to do so. So that could bode pretty badly for Journey Together, because it really, it's not a fantastic set. It's I would call it a B minus set. I know there's people out there that are going to absolutely adore a lot of these cards. For me, there's definitely a few I like in here, but this is no Prismatic. This is no Surging Sparks. This is on par with a Temporal to me, with a Paradox Rift, which is fine. But that begs the question, should we be seeing $200 booster boxes right now for this set, and it hasn't released yet? I don't know that can hold. Again, if the fight, when Journey Together comes out, if there's Prismatic product at $60 to $70 out there, and Journey Together at $200, there's no way Journey Together holds $200 at release. I just do not think it's strong enough. Remember, we saw Journey Together boxes selling on eBay as soon as it was announced for pre-order for $300, sight unseen, without almost any previews on that set. It's fully spoiled now. It's still sitting right around this $200 price point, but it's not doing much. And I think that's a little bit of a vote from the market about what this product really is. And it's selling. Don't get me wrong. It's selling plenty for booster boxes, but and the volume's starting to pick up here. But it's just not a blowaway set, and that's completely fine. They're not all going to be A tier sets like Prismatic, right? I'm just worried about release day for this product. Again, if we get Prismatic reprints, so that brings us through again Journey Together. Just one last look here at the card list of Journey Together to kind of make a determination. Again, I think it's a solid B- set. I know there's plenty of cards in here that other people would like. I personally have said this. I love the Whale Lord here. The Articuno is beautiful. It does come with a box topper. That's actually the Japanese version of that box topper. I don't know if it's a box topper, but it's a card in the set is actually doing really, really well. So you have Iona's Kilowattrel here. So there's definitely stuff to like in the set. It's just not blowing me away. And I think I think what we're seeing for pre-order prices for this, I think that's what the market's seeing too. It's just like, it's fine. It's a fine set. And the question now, if we kind of go past this and we start getting into April territory, is we have Team Rocket. So Glory of Team Rocket is a set dropping in April. We have very, very sparse information. We have like zero information other than the fact that we have, I think it's a release date of April 18th. It's Glory to Team Rocket. I think that's really it. That's a very, very sparse information. But the name alone on this set will the pre-orders for this, for booster boxes, are going to be nuts. And this is one of those sets where, yes, okay, buying a booster box at $200 to $300 a pop on pre-order, sight unseen, might make sense. This is really going to be a huge factor in this market and whether this bull market continues. I think Journey Together is going to be a little flat. There's some bad taste in people's mouths regarding Prismatic. Everyone's waiting with bated breath to see previews for Team Rocket. And that preview season for Team Rocket, which we should start seeing previews at the end of February into early March, maybe starting to see some, that's going to be a really big, really huge factor. If this falls flat, this could stunt this market. I think it will stunt this. I don't think there's a question about it. If Team Rocket it can't ride on the name alone once previews start. Before previews, yeah, if people have the option of pre-ordering boxes, they'll do it just like they did for Journey Together. And you could see pre-orders for Team Rocket go to 500 before we start getting previews. And that's not indicative of the set actually being good. That's just people saying, I don't care, I want to get a pre-order in because I think this is going to go higher. And a lot of the market right now, from across the board, has the fact that Team Rocket's coming out this spring baked into this market already. So it's kind of a market-wide vote of confidence in the fact that we have Team Rocket coming. If Team Rocket does not deliver, it needs to be a B+ to an A- set minimum. I think if it falls flat, if it's a stinker of a set, I don't think the Pokemon Company would let that happen. But if it is, I could absolutely see that stunting the Pokemon market significantly. So just something to consider. Again, I just want to kind of extrapolate and kind of think this through about how it could happen. Now, if Team Rocket comes out and blows people away, if we get some kind of even close to the level of hype that we saw for Prismatic from the preview season, then it could be wild, and it could be a booster box that you cannot touch for under 300, under 400, I could see it going absolutely wild. From a pre-order standpoint. Keep in mind, this is right when most people are getting their tax returns back, right? There's some money injected into the market, which is always good for printed cardboard in general. And this is right when Team Rocket's going to be going hot and heavy with previews and pre-orders. So again, that'll be a real huge fact. It's either, and I think it's going to be real binary. It's going to be either it pushes the market even higher, or it falls flat and the market takes a little bit of a breather. It doesn't mean the market crashes necessarily, but people might back off a little bit from the hype. So, and to me, depending on what type of investor you are, or collector you are, to me, it doesn't matter. I think a little cooling off would be great because it would mean more opportunities to buy things at reasonable prices. It would mean more people that want to open product and want to actually collect, be able to get product at reasonable prices and actually pick things up at retail. The retail shelves have been absolutely disaster lately. Everyone is picking up anything they can get their hands on, whether it's scalpers, collectors, anything. There's nothing, it's not like it used to be where there's products sitting on shelves and all the good stuff's gone maybe, but there's some mediocre stuff like Pokemon Go boxes and so on and so forth. It's not like that. Everything's just, at least locally for me, it's been decimated. So it's not getting into the hands of the people that actually enjoy the stuff. And that's where we know, that's how we know we're in a territory that's not sustainable, that's not good for the market long term, and the pendulum swings, right? Eventually the pendulum swings, hopefully more towards the middle and not extremely the other way. And I don't know that it will without some kind of exogenous event from an economic standpoint. I think it's just going to settle back to the middle, hopefully, in the spring. And typically when we get to the summertime too, things start to settle a little bit. People are focused on other things, outdoor activities, and the market settles a little bit. So again, that's it for really today. I just wanted to talk things from a high level view. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I think we'll do this again as we start to get some more information about how things are coming. I think, again, journey together. If we're talking about pre-order pricing, I think get that MSRP price. I think that I've seen that pretty significantly. I saw an alert today about, boxes for 155 bucks. I can't remember where it was from. I think that's fair to buy for journey together. I wouldn't chase that $200 box. I don't know, me personally, I'm not backing the truck up to get a ton of it. It's not blowing me away. We do have Team Rocket behind it. I think that's another thing that people are thinking, that Journey Together is not, if it's not blowing us away, why spend the money on it? Save the money for Team Rocket. We know Team Rocket's coming, and that could be a wild set, right? So I think out of all this, Journey Together is really going to hurt in the short term. I don't think it has enough to really carry it. And again, I think it's going to be competing with reprints from Prismatic. And if we don't get significant reprints for Prismatic, Prismatic's going to hurt long term, and I'm talking years. In terms of appreciation, because no one's going to remember opening it. No one's going to remember having that experience. And a lot of this, depending on what happens with Team Rocket, depending on what happens with Journey Together, if we get to the point where we're really not feeling great about some of these sets, the set that's going to benefit the most is Surging Sparks again. A lot of people are going to go, it's been incredibly strong. I think people, it was cheap enough close to release that people were able to open product and get product at a reasonable price. This is before the scalpers really get a hold of things. And that I cannot stress how important it is to get product into people's hands to open. Even, I mean, again, yes, I invest in this stuff, but I want to open product. And the Prismatic situation, opening a couple boxes that were worth, call it $300 between the both of them at the time, and getting $30 of card value out of it, just doesn't feel good. Versus Surging Sparks was it was a great release. So these things are super important long term. They're really hard to put data against and pull data from. They're more anecdotal. It's more theoretical, but I truly think it's pretty important. So that's it for today's video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you think we're doing a great job. And that's it. PokeMarketLab out.